So I'm really happy to be sitting here with my friend Lee Chapman today. We've got together in my little humble studio to talk to you about Lee's work, and I've really been looking forward to this. So Lee, welcome to the Martin Bailey Photography Podcast.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure, an absolute pleasure.
Not at all. I've been, as I mentioned in email a few days ago, I've been thinking about asking you to do this for the last couple of years. I've been following your RSS feed mainly. So I'll put links into the show notes and things for this. So what Lee does is he releases images almost daily, right? Every 2 or 3 days.
Yeah. Probably three times a week on average.
Yeah. And so they go onto a website that I'll put links in. It's wordpress.tokyotimes.org. I'll put a link down here so that you can get that. But Lee is basically a street photographer, but I'm going to get you to talk about this, but he blows me away with the work that he does and how gutsy it is, but also how beautiful and everything about it. So rather than doing like a handful of photos and just talk about each one in depth, we're going to go through his website and not look at every single image, but we're going to have a good look at a lot of these. So before we actually start looking at this, Lee, tell us a little bit about yourself. How long have you been in Japan? And all
I've been in Japan since 1998 when I came here, yes.
19 years then?
Yes, it will be.
Wow.
Yeah. And I came originally for a year. Well, I thought it'd be 2. Yeah. I thought 2 years would, at the time, give me an idea of what Japan was like and then go back to the UK. Yeah. And yeah, that was in 1998, so now in 2017, I'm still here. It's home now. Yeah. And photography-wise, probably seriously, 4 or 5 years ago, it was something that I really, really got into. I'd had a digital SLR for a while, a range of lenses, and then I got I went into it to get a rangefinder. I had some spare money, got a second-hand one, and that was the big game changer for me. Yeah. And I felt I could get closer to people and get the kind of shots that I wanted to get. Yeah. Well, I mean, the camera that you're talking about, was your first rangefinder a Leica? Yes, it was. Yeah. Yes, it was the M8, the first one, which we both had problems, but the camera had problems as well. But it was an eye-opener, and it worked for me. I mean, they're ridiculously expensive, overpriced, but at the same time, worth every penny in a sense.
Well, they're the essential street photographer's camera in many ways as well. But I mean, I certainly don't own a Leica. I'd love one. For me, it's not the sort of camera that I'm going to buy because I end up going all in on everything I do, and I'd end up trying to get every lens and all of that. It'd bankrupt me
within no time.
But I mean, I would love one just for doing the sort of thing that you do if I did that kind of work. But I think that they're an enabling camera as well, aren't they?
Yes, totally agree.
Yeah. I mean, with your Nikon, I imagine, was probably a relatively bulky camera and the lenses. Yeah, they're a lot more intimidating, aren't they?
Well, now I just shoot only 35mm, but I had an old push-pull 80 to 200, but I was often using the 85mm, which I could get close to. It allowed, that was as close as I could get to people. And then once I got that with I didn't have a Leica lens initially. I think I had the Zeiss, but it was a 35mm, and it forced me to get nearer. Yeah. And that was the start, really. Right. I used to hide behind the 85mm.
Well, as the audience will see, looking at your work, you don't look as though you're hiding anywhere. But we'll talk about this as we go through the images. So you lived in Japan 19 odd years, and you go into the city every day. I mean, you're pretty prolific with the amount of work that you publish. You're in the city every day with your work and stuff
as often as I can be. Yeah. And I'm on the train straight into the centre. So I have a set a number of areas that I like to go to, and then I'll get up in the morning, jump on the train, depending on the weather, and then decide where I want to go. What kind of mood takes me, or what I want to shoot. That always tends to be the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
But different areas have different kinds of people and a different vibe to them.
Yeah.
And I can use that to suit the mood I'm in as well.
Oh, brilliant, brilliant. Okay, well, let's jump in and start to look at some of the images. What I've done here is I've literally just got your top page in the browser, and this is what you'd see if you went to your website today. Tell us a little bit about each of these photos. I mean, this guy, he's on a mission, isn't he? I think you mentioned it. Where is this?
Actually, this is, I don't usually go to Shibuya very often, but this is Shibuya.
Oh, yeah.
And it's actually just near the crossing.
Yeah. Oh,
and
wow.
This is gone now here, but there was, I think it was a French graffiti artist who did this, but that's disappeared.
Wow.
And this work is by the Japanese street artist. He became prominent after the earthquake and the meltdown at Fukushima.
Oh yeah,
his anti-nuclear artwork. So I always got
so that's the one on the right. Yeah.
Actually, both these two.
Oh, both
here,
of these. Yeah. Wow. Nice.
I presume that's one of his. The stop.
Yeah. Okay.
But I always go here because there's often new bits of work there.
Yeah.
And then the light was nice. I thought I'll wait to see if somebody comes along. I thought maybe somebody who's old, it'd be an interesting contrast. But then he came along, a young man, but he made the perfect contrast because, I mean, how old is he? What would you say? 20? Probably a new graduate, isn't he, basically? Yeah. Possibly his first job.
Yeah.
And that image of him, his new life, and he's not even giving this, which you'd think maybe 6 months ago, 12 months ago, he'd been interested in it, and now it's gone. He's got his new corporate life and the stride he's got as well.
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely, he's going somewhere, he's got an objective, he's striding along. Tell me, I mean, looking at your work, I often see a sort of spontaneity that doesn't come if you say to someone, okay, is it okay if I take your photo? You're just ploughing through, aren't you? You're not asking.
I'm not saying I will never ask, because sometimes if I want an image, the only way to get it is to ask. Otherwise, it would be very uncomfortable for me, or more importantly, very uncomfortable for the person involved. So on occasions I will, but generally no.
Yeah.
This one, I'm not very patient, to be honest, but this one I actually waited because I thought the light is nice. It's Shibuya, somebody must come past soon enough.
Yeah.
And I think I waited about 10 minutes. A couple of people came past and I thought, this is not quite happening. And then he walked past. And that was it then. I could move on as well.
And you knew at that point that you'd got something that you wanted,
I thought
that you
so.
liked.
I had some hope, yeah. I think he's also got the freshman's new suit as well, hasn't he?
He's almost, I mean, at this time of year here in Japan, he's probably just come out of the induction ceremony at his new line of work or whatever. But that's great. So let's go down to the, as people look at this, you'll notice like you've got comments here. If people want to comment on the work, they can click this, can't they, and go down to the So look at this.
I've sneaked in there
this to me is like, in many ways, it's like you should really try to avoid that. But to me, that adds so much to the image, because it shows that you're right next to this guy, and he's not a happy dude at the moment at this point in time. Tell us what's happening here.
So this is in Shinjuku near the Odaku. That's in the department store. The Odaku. So he was. There's a street there that if maybe early afternoon, if you're walking towards the east side of Shinjuku, the light is lovely, and there's nobody there. And I saw him by the door. I deliberated, should I take his picture or not? He's not happy, but I like the sign. The door is closed. There was this thing, something had closed, and for me it worked with his expression. Yeah, and. Obviously, I sneaked in the picture, but actually he was oblivious. He had no idea. He didn't notice at all. He had that stare. He was. I wasn't sure whether I should have took it or not. It's one of those that should I, shouldn't I? But then I think without this sign here, I wouldn't have used it. Right. That for me made it. Yeah. A door had closed, and for him, presumably another one hasn't opened yet. So.
It's so symbolic, and I mean, I'd love to know. You didn't talk to him afterwards, then?
No, I do sometimes.
Yeah.
Certainly if I've been caught, but him,
Caught.
yeah, he didn't notice me.
Yeah.
And there was no way then that I was going to interrupt his thoughts, and he didn't look like he would want to talk to anybody, especially not a stranger.
No. Wow.
Somebody mentioned he could just be waiting for his wife. He's had enough.
He doesn't look like he's just. I mean, he looks as though literally he's got there. The door's closed. He's like, "Oh crap! What do I do now?" And it looks that it's such a sullen look on his face.
Yes.
And then you're there in shadow
Yes.
down the bottom, and it's like, to me, that's such a powerful image. I just think that you've got so much nerve in a good way. You know that. Are you like generally a very confident person?
No, I'm actually quite shy.
That's what I was thinking.
Yes.
I mean, and yet you're able to do this.
Like I say, initially I used to hide behind the 85mm, and I would stand. I used to find certain points to stand on the street, knowing that the light's nice, people would be walking towards, in this direction, that direction, and I could shoot away without them knowing. Sneaky, really. But that's how I started. Yeah. And then slowly move in. I had a 50mm for the Nikon, and I got a bit nearer. And then when I got the Leica, I went to 35mm, and I had to do it then. I had no choice, but I'd made those baby steps, if you will.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not. I mean, I can do something that I'm not terribly shy, but generally I'm quite shy.
I think you come across as, I mean, obviously we've met a few times now, and it's you always come across as someone that's relatively self-confident in the way that you talk with people. But I mean, I'm the same. I'm basically a relatively shy person. But for me, I couldn't do this sort of work. I don't have the brass that was required. I mean, if something was happening and I felt as though I'd got a duty to go and shoot it, I probably would be able to. But I don't. I think to me the desire to make the photograph isn't strong enough to make me.
Okay.
And you obviously want the photograph more than the fear and anxiety.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it helps me overcome that as well. Yeah. But having said that, some days it's easier than others. Some days I don't quite have that confidence. And there's certain situations I look at it and should I do it, should I not? And then often by the time you've deliberated, the moment's gone anyway. Yeah. So it generally, I'm all right. On the shyness takes over on some days and I'm not quite as confident with it. But generally, and the more you do it, the easier it becomes as well.
Yeah, I'm sure, but yeah.
And a few nice results, you think, okay.
I think that's
the
a
little
reward,
bit uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Somebody shouted at me or tutted or whatever.
Yeah.
But I've got this to show for it, and that makes it worth it.
Do you ever feel that, say, if you photograph someone and then they'll get angry with you or they'll talk or something, does that put you off using the photo, or does it you always
no, not if it's a good photo. No.
Yeah, brilliant.
But I don't purposely go out to take a photograph of somebody and embarrass them.
Yeah.
Or make them look bad.
Yeah.
So that's not my goal, and also it's not my goal to upset people, but it does happen. That's you can't avoid it sometimes. I
think looking at the work. Let's continue down here. Well. Actually, this is obviously there's no people here, so I would imagine that obviously I know enough about you to know that you're not a nasty person. You're not out there trying to upset people, yes. So it's understandable. But it's just it's the desire for the photos winning out. It's pretty cool stuff. Tell us about this building. It's a post office, isn't it?
It's a post office. Yeah, this was in. It was either Ibaraki or Tochigi. We'd gone up there to visit an abandoned clinic. And then by pure chance, next to the clinic there was a house. We guess it was the doctor's house, which is incredible. But then I'd also seen this post office. Yeah. I'd never been to an abandoned post office before. Yeah. Tiny, 2 rooms really. Yeah. But it was absolutely beautiful. Wow. Some abandoned buildings, there's a real sadness to them. Yeah. This one wasn't. It was just a really nice building just to stand in, and I mean outside it kind of one. I mean, it's distinctive.
Yeah. If you
But
went,
this
you
room
went
in
inside,
particular
didn't you?
was fantastic.
This is
And
beautiful.
the lovely light coming through those orange curtains.
Yeah, yeah,
And the lovely faded colours. Oh, it's fantastic.
yeah. And I think it's great the way this. When we click on this, we can see bigger. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean all of this foliage, and this is actually a vine or something that's growing inside the building, isn't it?
Yeah, and then all these leaves had died and
Yeah.
faded. Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
They are incredible. And obviously this is just a post office, but
Yeah.
when the clinic I was in before closed in 19... I always like this when nature's taking the building
The
back.
fern down there. I mean, the fern's just growing
Yes.
out of the floor.
And that's actually next to the new post office. So you go... I mean, it's kind of in the middle of nowhere, but you drive down, there's a few buildings, there's the old post office and then the current the current post office.
That's great.
But the clinic we were in before,
Yeah.
it closed, a wooden clinic, closed in 1970,
Oh wow!
and everything is still there.
Have you got photos of that?
Not
on
yet,
you?
no, I've not done that. Actually, it's on my portfolio site. There's a
Oh,
few.
we'll take a quick look in there as well.
But there's an operating room, the doctor's, his chair, implements.
I've seen that. What?
I mean, I remember, I'm terrified of the doctor anyway, but an abandoned clinic I find absolutely fascinating.
Oh,
hotels and stuff are interesting, but houses, clinics and the like are something
There's more of a
extra.
personal.
Yes, without a doubt.
Yeah. Wow. Look at this. I mean, how personal is
Yeah,
that?
exactly,
Someone
yeah.
they left their toothbrush and toothpaste when
That
they
was
left.
90, I think that was 92, 93, I think this closed.
Yeah. Wow. And you even got the old electric socket
Yeah,
things
yeah.
there. Like just drilled a hole in the wall. It's brilliant. So serious looking. What do you say? Serious looking Japanese salaryman.
This fellow I like, I think he looks really cool fella.
Yeah. He looks like something out of a movie, doesn't he?
Yeah, like a 1970s movie
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah. And of course, the way you've done this with the very dark walls either side,
Yes.
and then the bright behind him, and he's just like almost spotlit.
Yeah.
It's got almost like a cinematic
Yeah, I was
feel
really
to it,
pleased
hasn't
when
it?
this one came out. This was shot from the hip. I had no time. I came around the corner and he was there.
Yeah,
So it was like, bam. And luckily, it came out
yeah.
spot on there.
Did he notice
He
you?
had no idea as well. Because this is in Ueno, and I go there a lot because the light is good at a certain time of day. And I pre-focus, and it's so busy. Well, this street's not, but the street that runs parallel to it is. And I was there with a friend the other day, and he said, people don't even realise you're taking a picture because it is so busy.
And I
You
think
do it quickly as well. And
part
this
of
makes
it
it
is
easy.
part of it
Yes,
is the just the form factor. The shutter's not very loud on that
No,
either.
it's not.
Is
It
it?
has a
It's very-
different sound to an SLR as
Yeah.
well, so people are not quite as attuned to it, maybe.
Yeah. Wow.
And I do take the picture sometime, and then somebody will look behind,
Yeah.
assuming that I've took. Why you wouldn't be taking a picture of me?
Yeah.
This fellow obviously caught me.
Yeah. Caught me. the way you
But
say
I do
that.
like that. I
Yeah.
like the
Well, that gives you
that
the
works for me.
yeah
Without
the
that, it
interaction
doesn't
as
work.
well. It's
Yeah.
like oh, you're taking a photo then. Yeah.
And I've got it then. And
Yeah.
he was nice actually. Actually, I like his expression because
Yeah.
it's difficult to know what he's
A
thinking.
little bit wry. This.
I get quite a few pictures and people look genuinely angry, and I like the results, but actually not always. But I will take the picture. They look. There's a shock, sometimes anger, and of course I'm a foreigner.
Yeah.
There's somebody taking the picture, a foreigner taking the picture.
Yeah.
So there's that look of shock or anger or what are you doing?
Yeah.
But then after I'll lower the camera and smile.
Yeah.
And more often than not,
Yeah.
there will be a
A
smile.
smile
back.
can be
And
so
sometimes just a bit
disarming,
of-
can't it?
and a bit of a chat or whatever.
Yeah.
It's but that wouldn't make a good picture. Luckily, that initial look.
That's
makes
what you're
it,
after.
yes,
Yeah.
And this fella, I took the picture. He looked at me and I just nodded and smiled, and he needed the same back, and then he went back to his drink, and I went on my way. So it was nice.
So you didn't actually talk to him
I didn't
afterwards?
actually talk because he was.
wow.
I wasn't actually in the bar. I was just.
Oh,
from
you just
outside.
stuck in.
Yes. Yeah, just stuck my head
I mean,
in.
that there, right there, is brilliant. You're okay to just walk into a bar, take a photo, and
Well,
then
it was,
walk out.
but I didn't. The because it was a relatively warm day, the doors were open.
I see.
So I could just put my head in and take it, yes.
But that's the sort of thing I'm thinking about. You know, the fact that you can do that, there's a braveness there that I definitely don't have. And I would imagine it's something that's relatively unique to yourself. And that's why, you know, I subscribe to your RSS feed, and I'll open my feed up, and every few pages or so, there'll be a photo pop up, and I'll say, oh, that's one of Lee's, and I can tell straight away because it's got someone looking back at the camera, or it's got someone captured in such a way that it's your signature style. I can tell your photos a mile away.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear.
And this is one of them. I mean, I can tell, but it's great to talk and actually, because I imagined, here's my scenario that I imagined as I looked at this. I was thinking, you're sitting there, you've probably already had a beer or something or a drink, you've got to know the guy, and then you've said, can I just take a photo? And then he's still giving you this wry look, and you've stood there, and then you've sat down and continued the conversation, but you've just walked in
and
snap,
and then walked out again. Some of the bar shots, I am in there, and I've been in there and I've chatted to them, but this one not.
Amazing.
But actually the eye contact thing, when I first started doing street stuff, I kind of avoided it because I didn't want to be seen. And then I really got into the work of William Klein, and that's when I saw that what an impact that eye contact has, because most of his shots, or an awful lot of them, have that eye contact with him, with the camera, and then obviously it's somebody looking at the image, and I realised that makes such a difference.
Yeah, wow.
Which you can't engineer it.
No.
But I think as a foreigner, as an obvious foreigner here, you stand out.
Oh, yes. People are going to notice you more just because you're not Japanese.
So I think also I can use that to my advantage. So because I stand out, they will look at me.
Yeah.
And when they look at me, then I can take the picture.
Yeah.
And I think also that gives me, I can get away with more stuff.
Yeah,
because
for
I'm
sure.
considered as maybe a tourist.
Yeah, yeah.
And it might be, tourist, but people are not likely to get so angry at me.
I agree.
Class as a visitor.
Yeah, yeah. I think you definitely can. I mean, I don't like to use that as such, but there's definitely an element of, I mean, like people will remember you more easily because you're not a Japanese person. I mean, even I'm a Japanese citizen now, but I'm still not Japanese.
Yes.
I will never be Japanese. So just walking down the street, people will flick their eye across, and then that they're thinking, oh, there's a foreigner over there, and so you're always aware of it. But definitely, there's benefits, and I think that, I mean, there's also, I mean, there is a little bit of racism in Japan. It's always a very quiet thing, and I mean, I've been refused apartments because I'm not Japanese, and it's basically because, in some ways, you can understand it. There's a lot of foreigners, they're like partying, they're too noisy and all of this. And so we get a bad rap sometimes because there are people that do bad things. And that's how stereotypes form, and that's how they can become damaging. But
I mean, I go into a lot of, I didn't go into that bar, but I go into a lot of little bars and drink there and often take photographs in there. But I've also been refused entry to such bars.
Really?
Because I'm not Japanese. It doesn't happen very often, thankfully.
But that's the sort of thing that I'm thinking of. It's very quiet, and it's often, it's rarely violent. But I have had a few things like that happen, and it reminds you that you even having lived here almost 20 years, and it reminds you of the fact that you weren't born here, and you never will be 100%.
So never going to blend in, that's for sure.
But back to the topic. I mean, there are times when that works for you.
Yes, I think so.
And I definitely think that it's something that you're working well. You're not doing it. You're not sort of taking advantage of anything, but you're using it to good effect. Tell us about this. Where's this?
Oh, this was Shinjuku Gyoen.
I thought it was.
This was just before I mean, obviously this year the cherry blossom's been all over the show, hasn't it? Some were full in bloom, some weren't. This was a little bit early. Yeah. But there just seemed to be so much going on. She's pregnant. She's having a picture taken. I think possibly professionally. Yeah. The newly married couple. Yeah. The foreign fellow over here, he's got his camera as well. So there seems to be an awful lot going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're all
and they're doing the selfie.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a big
stick,
sign of the times, isn't it? You know, she's got a professional photographer taking her photo, and these guys have got a selfie stick in a wedding dress and stuff.
I was in Ueno last week, and there's a big cherry blossom spot, and there was warnings in English as well saying, be careful with your selfie stick because you might injure other people. And there were so many people with them.
Yeah, brilliant. So let's. I love this.
This is the kind of thing that I like. Old bars, old shops, old neighbour, and old people.
Yeah.
I think possibly because it's a side of Japan that I wasn't here, obviously, when, in the 50s and 60s. So it's a Japan that I'm fascinated by, but I will never know. But there are glimpses of it.
Exactly. Sure. I mean, that could have been 50, 60 years ago.
It's an old wooden building, so it's probably not changed since then.
She's making senbei, isn't she?
Yeah, that's right. And the smell is just incredible.
Yeah, oh, brilliant.
And I guess that way of making them hasn't changed for...
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me.
I'll bet this was post-war. I guess the buildings... I guess this area was flattened during the war, so this probably went up post-war, and it's still the same building.
Yeah.
Still the same method.
Wow.
And again, they didn't know about it.
That's brilliant. Looking at the fact that she's using chopsticks to cook with, I mean, that's something that's very Japanese, well, very Asian. I'm sure they do the same thing in China and probably Korea and a number of other countries. But yeah, these little signature things that really just stand out to me.
What I like about these places, like you're saying, this is their house as well.
Right.
Well, obviously the shop area, just in the back there is the living space.
Right.
So many old shops are like that as well.
Yeah. Brilliant. Okay, so let's scroll down a little bit. The shadowy Tokyo smoker. He's obviously caught you.
Yes, yeah, he did. Yeah. Again, I think that works because he's looking at the camera. The light was great, and he just leaned back with his cigarette, and I thought there's just enough light on it. Obviously, there's more than enough light on him, and it was wonderful the way it came out, and I get that look. And the weird thing was, I was there. It's Ueno again, where I go a lot. I was there something like a week after. I walked up the same side street, and lo and behold, he was there and still had the mask pulled down to his cigarettes as well.
Did you take it?
I didn't take another one. I thought, I've got one. I was quite happy with that one.
I love the fact that the background is almost totally black. Yes. And I mean, I can't see...
There's a little bit
down here.
So I put this in black and white. It's a bank of vending machines behind it.
Oh, yeah.
And in colour, it was a bit distracting.
Do you do much processing, or would you go in and darken that background down more to make it more dramatic? Yeah.
Because they were vending machines. Generally, I'm not that skilled. I use Lightroom. I'm not that skilled with it, but I think I don't push it, because then I think if I did, I want the images to look as
still natural.
Yes, and I think that the more I learn, the more tendency I have to alter them even more. So there's not much more than darkening some areas, lightening others. Obviously, the contrast, colours, and this, that, and the other, but not a great deal.
Okay. Brilliant. They don't look overly processed at all. So you're achieving your goal. So where's this?
This was in. It was on a trip I went to, Yamanashi and Shizuoka. This was in Corfu. I went with a friend, but he was coming later, so I spent the day walking around on my own, and I saw this old house. Amazingly, the door was open. And did I put a date on it? I think there was a calendar in there.
March 22nd when you posted it.
Oh no, that's it. That was it. So 2005 was the calendar.
Oh, I see.
So it was lived in until 2005.
Oh, wow.
And it's a one living room, one bedroom place.
No bath?
No, there was no bath. There was an outdoor shared toilet.
Oh, wow.
There's like a small row of houses all abandoned. It's the only one I could get in. And I didn't take pictures of them. I thought it was too personal, but in one of the drawers there was pictures of the lady who used to live there. There's a little washing machine outside, and there were still clothes in it. So.
Oh, jeez. So you think she just pot to clogs and
possibly, or she was ill, taken ill, and then she never went back home again. But I mean, there's her personal items are there.
Wow.
And then the bedroom, if you just scroll down, probably you can see that's the other side of the living. That was it, that one tiny space.
Yeah.
And then the bedroom was up these stairs, which I'm not a young man anymore, but I mean, I struggled up them. Really? Going down them was terrifying. They were so narrow and so steep.
Wow.
And judging by the picture of the lady, she must have been 70s at the youngest. I think that she was going up and down those stairs. I mean, she had to go in the night time for the toilet outside and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, just for the sake of the listeners here, one thing that I just mentioned, that there's no bathroom, just guessing no bathroom. But here in Japan, they have what's called sento. They're like public baths. And a lot of people, especially in the older housing, they'll just go to, they'll take a towel, a little basket with some shampoo and soap in it, and they'll just walk around the corner to the sento, and that's it. And that's actually a lot of the time it's a communal thing. They'll go in there and they'll meet friends that go there every day at the same time, and then they'll maybe have a drink of like Yakult or something afterwards, and make their way back home again. But it's relatively common here in Japan, especially in the cities, to have these sento, and people have housing that doesn't have a bath or a shower within the building itself. It's quite interesting stuff.
Yes. It's
a great find though.
And it's the door had vines going over it, so I guess nobody had been in there since 2012. Wow. It's like 12 years. Yeah.
And of course, it costs money to actually break and demolish the building.
And so they just
leave them. It's a bit of a problem here, isn't it? In some ways. But I mean, you can't blame the person that died there. I'm sure she would have loved to have been still living there.
Carrying on,
Was there a fish shop? Did you say?
Yeah. Again, this is going like the old Senbei, the rice cracker shop. This. It's one of those shops, like so many of them, that opens out onto the street. There's no doors. I guess there's shutters that come down at night. And I've been past this shop so many times, and I've seen the water pump, and I know it works. And I've seen him cutting fish in the background here, or there's a display cabinet here. He's putting his fish in. Yeah. And I walked past, and finally I saw him using the water pump. And that's what he uses, and it's incredible.
It's in this day and age.
Yeah, exactly.
You were going to say the same thing.
Exactly.
But it is. It's brilliant. The fact that, I mean, it's almost like, it looks like something out of a museum, but he's still using it daily, and to do his work.
I think he told me when. Oh yeah, that's it. So obviously he saw me with a few words. Yeah. And he said it opened in 1935.
Jesus.
So I presume it's a family business.
Yeah.
And the water pump, I guess that's been there since 1935, presumably.
I mean, I've got huge respect for someone that will not only keep that, but continue to, he could have put a tap at faucet in there.
He's got a more modern tap. He just doesn't use it. Yeah, he prefers the water pump. Yeah,
it's brilliant. And that's probably why I'll bet he's in his 80s or so, and that's why he's still working, because he's working out with his pump every day. Yeah. The old lady that was walking up and down the stairs, that's her life. She has to do that every time she goes upstairs. And it keeps them moving. I mean, there's something to be said for a hard life in the fact that it keeps you living that hard life.
There's a lot of the bars that I go to the tiny little neighbourhood bars, and almost always they're run by people past retirement age. The weekend I was in a place that was run by a 73, 74-year-old, sometimes in their 80s. The oldest one, she was 9. I went in a bar in Oktama. She was 93 years old. Yes.
Wow, 93.
And she opens, I think she said 6 days a week, maybe even 7. If there's nobody in, she closes for somebody else. If somebody comes in, as we did that one night, she stays open. And she was drinking as well. I mean, it's just incredible.
Yeah.
And so many of them, they're old. But the problem is that when he finally retires, that's it. The shop will close and it will go forever. Same with the bar. So that's the sad part about it.
Yeah.
Because I understand that their kids don't want to take on a grubby little bar that has 6 customers at the most. Yeah.
I mean, sometimes they're staying on. They're doing it because they don't know anything else.
Yes.
And retirement would probably mean just like closing down all of your functions and just becoming a cabbage.
Yeah.
So they don't want to be doing that. I mean, it's what I think the work is what keeps them alive a lot of the time. But yeah, there are a lot of family businesses where probably that guy with the fish shop, maybe his dad started that and he almost automatically took it on. But in this day and age, it's not happening anywhere near as much as it used to. So.
And they're in older neighbourhoods, and the kids have probably moved into a more
Right.
central location, or they don't want to work in an old shop with.
Well, it's understandable, isn't it?
Of course it is. Yeah.
So okay, so what I want to do is I'm gonna just quickly have a look down here, because I want to go. I wanted to talk about this. This is a good one, and then we're going to take a look at some of your portfolios.
Okay.
So where is this?
This is Shinjuku.
Oh,
There's lots of
little alleyways.
dirty little alleys, and I'd walked from the other side, and I'd seen him. There's a few streets, so I dashed round. I thought if I get round as quick as I can, he might still be there.
Oh wow!
And he was on his phone, which allowed me to get a little bit nearer. And then the minute he'd looked round, I was ready, and bang, when I got it, that was it again.
So you wanted him looking up.
I did, yes. So I kept edging nearer and nearer to him every time, just altering the focus a little bit, and then he finally looked round, and it was a little bit closer would have been nicer.
Yeah.
But then you get a sense of the alley as well.
Yeah, and you got this bike down there as well. I wonder if it's his.
He didn't look very happy.
Didn't he?
I smiled, and that didn't win him over, so I exited the alleyway and went on my way. But
Sometimes, I mean, especially with younger people, they can be they've got this sort of it's uncool to smile and stuff, and so sometimes I can get that.
Older people tend to just to smile and laugh.
Yeah.
But he wasn't best placed.
Let's go and take a look at some of your portfolios. Well, because this is the main reason I wanted to press that button. There's obviously hundreds of beautiful shots in here, but this is just
that's
incredible.
A favorite.
I mean, there are people like this, often old ladies that are bent over like this in Japan. And I mean, I don't know if you know any different. I would imagine she probably has done a job, maybe even a lot of the time in the countryside, it's from farming. Like planting the rice, they're bent over.
Yes.
Obviously, planting rice only happens for a few days or so each year, but then just going in and tending things and tending crops and stuff, they tend to do so much manually that they end up bent over like this. And
I've heard that it was a lack of calcium as well.
Well, that's probably. I'm sure that's part of it. Yeah, you see a lot of people that have really bow leg, really quite badly bowed legs.
There was there's no fresh milk, of course, anything like that, was there? So but she was incredibly fast moving.
Was she?
Yeah, because this is Shinjuku. Is it Yasukuni Dori?
Yeah.
Not sure if it is or not, but funnily enough, I was on this side of the street.
Yeah.
I'd been walking, I don't know, I'd done only 12, 13, 14k or whatever, and I thought, I might think about going home.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, no, the weather's still okay. I should stay for a little bit longer. And there was an exhibition on over the other side of the street. So I went there, and I thought, okay, that's it. I'll call it a day. And then I saw her walking along this way. And I thought, but it's actually, it was fast. It wasn't easy. And I thought, I've got to get a shot of her along the busy street. There was lots of the people shopping and whatever. I thought, that's not going to work. And then she went to cross over. Initially, I got one shot of her in front of a Bentley.
Oh, wow.
Because the Bentley parked at the light, but it just dwarfed it. I thought it would work, actually, and it didn't.
Yeah.
And then we crossed the middle, whatever you call it, here. And then I got that one
central meridian or something.
That what it is? So we crossed that, and then I got that one shot, and it just, luckily there were people crossing, but they were all on the other side.
Yeah. So you ran out there at the same time as the lights changed, and got down ready, and just.
I got the one shot on the other side in front of the cars, and that didn't work. And then I got that one. And
did she notice you?
No, she had not. People on the crossing. What's he doing?
Yeah.
And I thought, I think I've got that. And I was so pleased with it. And I couldn't. If I'd have asked her to pause, I don't think I could have done it any better.
Oh no, I think it's perfect the way it is. I mean, the thing is with this as well, the thing that gets me is if you look at the shape of like her pelvis, she's actually leaning backwards just to stay that upright. And that's something that you see a lot. And it's just amazing how these people, I mean, it can't be an easy life, but she's, you know, she's obviously adjusted it.
Shinjuku, it's busy. She's out and about.
She's just doing her stuff. That's how she's ended up. And she's just living her life as best she can. And
for
we've
me,
got so much respect for these people.
It was that randomness that what I like about shooting on the street is it's just like life itself. There's no major, I certainly don't think so. There's no grand scheme. Everything is random. And on this particular shot, you know, I was going to go home. And this is probably, I mean, to sales and stuff, this has led to a lot of sales, this particular shot. And if I'd have gone home on that day, I would never have got it. And it was just that, no, the weather's okay, I'll stay out for a little bit longer. And that was the only shot I got when I made the decision, but it was, you know, it was one I wouldn't have got otherwise. I'd never seen her, I never got that shot.
Yeah. It's brilliant. I mean, the fact that you run out there and you'll dive into position, grab your shot.
I didn't think I was going to get it because the other people were there. I thought I have to because, you know, it's.
And that's it. I mean, I would be there. You know, I mean, I'm a positive person, and if there's something that I want to do, I'll go for it and I'll make it happen. But I would be there saying, yeah, well, there's too many people around, and it's probably, she might look at me and I might get all embarrassed, and the anxiety kicks in, and before I know it, I'm talking myself out of it.
It's too late then, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I've shot a few. I mean, I'm not a street photographer. I don't do this kind of work. So, I mean, maybe if I did, you mentioned that you sort of eased yourself into it. So, but I just love the fact that you can go and do this sort of work, and you do such a good job of it. Let me just see. So, do we click these?
Oh no, that's just the. You have to choose
we have to. So I'm going to go through. We don't want to spend too much more time, so let's take a quick look at some of these. And look at this.
This worked perfectly because of the lady carrying the baby, but he's carrying it.
She's got the baby. He's got the great big turtle. Look at this. The guy here. Look, he's got a big surprised look on his face as well. I mean, and look at the proximity there. I mean, you would have think that this turtle would perhaps even have a go at biting him, but
those claws must be sharp as well.
But there's a bond there. I mean, these guys. He walks this turtle or carries this turtle around quite a lot. You can tell.
There's one area that there's a man walks a giant tortoise. Not every day. I've seen pictures of that, but this is a different man. So there's certainly two of them in the city anyway. But he chooses to carry his as opposed to walk.
Is this at Sensorji?
That's right. Yeah,
I thought it was. Look at this. Now he's obviously caught you.
Yes. Yeah.
What is?
I don't know what was going on here because I can't remember if that was his friend or not. If she was very proud of his outfit, he loved it, you know, and he didn't mind. Let's say it's a mock Louis Vuitton.
Is it? Oh, okay.
Louis Vuitton construction worker get up of some kind. Yeah. Obviously not the real deal. But he was very proud of himself.
Oh, excellent. Oh yes, here we go.
He got angry with me.
Did he?
He muttered and he didn't stop me, but he wasn't best pleased. But incredibly well turned out. I mean, look at this, how even this bit's shaped at the top.
Yeah. Brilliant. It's amazing that this is still a relatively popular look here as well, isn't it? Look at this. This is a movie set as well.
That's one of my favourite. He reminds me of the other guy. He's like a 1970s movie star, isn't he?
I mean, the pose there as well, even, it's like, you see them do that in the old Yakuza movies, don't you? The next thing, they're sort of pulling the thing down to show you the tattoos and stuff.
That's at Skiji, that. I mean, he was... I clocked him, I thought, I've got to get that shot with the interior of the truck. And he never... I don't know, he seemed to be looking through me, and he just kept in that pose. He never changed it. I took, I think, 2 shots.
Wow.
Walked away, looked around, he was still there, so it was wonderful.
Yeah. And the metallic interior of that truck and everything, it just sets it off brilliant, doesn't it?
But it's great stuff.
Look at this thing. And his big bright red 10-gallon hat.
He just looks so desperately sad.
Oh.
Holding one of the advertising boards up.
Yeah. Look at this.
Yes.
Is that a guy?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's there a lot.
Yeah.
I've seen him in numerous outfits.
Yeah.
Each one as outlandish as the other one, and he takes pictures of himself.
Yeah,
he has a tripod set up.
Really? there's the other one. Oh, look at that! I love this. This is like
the protester.
Yeah, he's it's saying up there that he can't stand, or he can't. Was it Yudusanai? Is like he won't permit, but it's like he's protesting against the current government, or the current prime minister or whatever you call it here.
I like the looks on here because he's looking at me.
Yeah.
One of them's looking at him. She's looking at me. And then it's sort of, there's a lot.
So everyone's triangulating, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah. What's happening here? Hang on. You know what? Where's the one? This is brilliant.
I like the fact that his clothes are there.
Yeah, he's just taking his clothes off at the side of the road, and he's standing there in his metallic.
Yeah.
And his what the beetle boppers or whatever they call it. I forget what they call it. I mean, that's just crazy.
Yes.
Only in Japan.
Yes, that's
only
it.
in Japan.
There's always some surprise when you go out. It's wonderful. Again, another one.
Yeah. Is that the same guy that we just?
No, that's a different one. No.
I want to get to. Let's go through a few of these. They're not huge. What I want to say is, as we said, go to wordpress.tokyotimes.org, and these are the portfolios. So I'm not going to show every one of them. What I want to do, remember where the that photo of the old guy with the schoolgirl's outfit on, and I'm not trying to target these sort of.
That's in here, I think.
Is it in here?
Yeah.
I thought perhaps.
Yeah,
the next one.
All
I mean, look at this. This guy is just such a character.
And he's quite famous now.
Yeah.
But he has a. I'm not going to do it now, obviously, but he has a pause that he does.
Yeah.
So when you see pictures of him, he's always pausing.
Yeah.
And I thought, I came up the stairs. I'm going to get the train home. And he was there, obviously waiting for somebody. But getting him just stood there doing something normal, but dressed like that was great.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah, I wanted to look at this. It's brilliant. I mean, so what I'll do, I want to look at quickly look at a couple of others. I like the red light district. You go there often?
In Kabukicho, yeah. In the daytime. There again, that contradicts that. That was in the night time.
Yeah. But these are just, I mean, this is the old fashioned.
Yes.
It's a peep show, isn't it? It's the old fashioned sort of part. I mean, this as well.
This was. I'd just got my first rangefinder, and I was obviously getting used to the manual focus, which took a bit of getting used to. Although it's surprisingly intuitive. I thought I would really struggle, but I didn't. But this, I've been practicing my pre-focusing, and I saw these two, and I knew that I wasn't going to have time to stand over them and focus. So I set the camera up and got this, and that was like, okay, this is going to work.
Yeah.
That was when like a light went on, and I thought, all right, this camera, we can work together, I think. And I don't know what was going on there. He obviously clocked me. She did. She was upset, not at me, but with him. It's Kabukicho, it's a red light district, and this was 10:30, 11 in the morning, so they'd probably been working, and I don't know what was going on.
But he's obviously caught you there. And did they say anything, or were they?
No, she just said to him, "I said, you just took a picture," and he was like, "Yeah." And then, but I'd gone then, and then they obviously they had more important things to do. Now that picture, I think it's good to talk about this. It's difficult. There's a fine line, I think. What is acceptable to? One is acceptable. What is acceptable to shoot in the first place, and then sometimes when you get it back home, is this acceptable to show? This one I thought long and hard about. I wanted to do it in colour, but it was too distracting because it was just, this poster, it was way too distracting. But this is Kabukicho, this is the red light district. She presumably works there, and then a lot of the women, after they finish work, whether they're hostess or whatever, they will go to the horse club and spend all of their hard-earned money with the horse, who are basically doing what they do, just massaging people's ego and false affection and all that. And then this was outside a horse club, so she'd obviously been to the horse club, and then collapsed drunk. So this was like lunchtime on a Saturday, so it'd been an all-night Friday thing. And I like the fact the accusing looks from the horse.
Yeah.
But she's in a very compromised position.
Yeah.
But there's you can't see a face.
Right.
And I deliberated for a long time, but it says a lot about that area.
I think it does. It's a culture, a subculture of Tokyo that it can't really be ignored. Again, this is one of those things that you've got a lot of courage going in there and doing this sort of work there. I mean, look at this. There's no other country where you could be asleep, drunk, with all of your bag and that there.
Wallet, phone in there.
Right, it'd all be gone. I mean, even in Japan, you hear of people do get things stolen like that, but just don't drunk.
But these are all in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So it's not that they've been drinking since lunchtime. They've been drinking probably since the previous day's lunchtime.
I mean, look at this guy with the police sticking up, giving them the bird.
No, that was to me.
Oh, was it to you? I thought it was I thought he was doing it to the police. So he saw you and he was...
The police were giving a hard time, then he saw me, then he gave me the fingers. So.
Oh, geez, that's brilliant. This is another look you see here as well. It's,
a horse, I presume.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
That was an incredibly dirty kitchen. That restaurant's closed down now.
Has it?
Perhaps for the best, to be honest.
Okay, right there. Anything? Is there one more photo in here that you dying to show people? Is there any? I know that you'd be happy to look through more, and I would as well if it wasn't for time. But is there any one place that you want me to click on before we wrap up?
Probably two pictures. If two is all right, is it? One.
Where's that?
If you go to the old, then there's...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, sorry, the old.
So the old, yeah.
There's this picture I particularly
like. I remember this, yeah.
And it's since been shuttered up, so I presume she's died now.
Oh, bless her.
I'd seen her hands trying to lift the shutter and it was all jammed.
Yeah.
And she got halfway off and I thought, I've got to get a picture of it. Initially I just thought I'd get the hands.
Yeah.
And then she poked her head and I got the shot. And then she shouted at me and I
Did
what's going on? But she was shouting at me to help her.
Ah, okay.
So I helped her lift the shutters up.
Yeah.
And then very quickly she's like, right, come on, I need more help. So I lifted the other shutters up.
Oh, brilliant.
And then she invited me in and then she was trying to give me food. She was lonely, basically.
Yeah.
And she brought out some, God knows where she got them from. She had some miniature bottles of booze. She had little bottles of vodka. She's trying to ply me with those.
Oh.
And she said, my kids don't come and visit. And blah, blah, blah. But that picture was wonderful, the way she's peeking under
and
the
that's
shutter.
A brilliant story. I'm glad you pointed us to this. I remember seeing this, and I mean, I'll often sit downstairs with my wife and I'll look at that and she's like, oh, look. And we just have these conversations and we make up a story about what's probably happened and all of that. Probably 99% of the time wrong, but
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. And I think that just the fact that these images are getting people talking. Let's back to the other one. What was the other one?
Maybe one more. I've got the nationalist one.
The nationalists. Oh yeah.
This guy's interesting, but then if you go through, that one is.
Oh, that's brilliant.
I actually did it in black and white as well. Initially, I liked the black and white, but I think I prefer the colour now.
Are these all? This is the guys that are all for kicking out all of the foreigners, aren't they?
Well, yes, but then at the same time, this is on Foundation Day. What's that? February? Is it February? Isn't it?
Yeah.
I've been there now for the last 6 or 7 years. This year was the first time I went purely by chance. The snow came down. It was perfect. Gives it a timeless feel.
Oh, it does. It's great.
But I've been going back every year since, and this is my 85mm. This was before I switched to the rangefinder.
Okay.
And they've never given me any trouble. And I've got closer each time, and I mean, probably I'm not their favourite person in the world, but at the same time, I've never had any issues whatsoever.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
I've had an absolute blast looking through these images. What I'm going to suggest is, obviously, I'll put the links to your work and your portfolios. I'd love for people to come through and take a good look at the rest of it. before we sort of totally complete the conversation, a huge amount of respect for the work that you do, and I can't wait. I mean, the more you work, I see it get gradually better as well. I mean, you've been creating great work for as long as I've been following you. You keep getting better. You're maturing as a photographer. Where do you see yourself going? What's in the future for Lee Chapman?
Good question. I don't know, to be honest. I mean, for me, it's been a gradual process, and I've seen that improvement. Keep at it, basically.
Yeah.
And I live here. This is, like yourself, this is home now. Tokyo will always offer more. There's always opportunities, different areas, and even if I keep going back to the same areas, there are different people. Just keep documenting the city, basically.
Yeah.
And actually also lots of places like the shops and the bars that in 12 months, 2 years, 5 years will cease to exist. So I think it's important, if nothing else, just for me. To have a document of
I
that.
I think that there's obviously, you're creating a beautiful, in many ways sublime, potent body of work that I'd love to see it in a book or something at some point, and hopefully that's the sort of thing that will be coming down the road. I know that you've got no immediate plans, but that sort of thing is just going to be, for me. I've got an old book on famous photos from the Showa era, the Showa emperor here in Japan, and a lot of the work, it could be on these pages. Obviously, it's more aged. It was shot, some of it with very old cameras, and even the prints that they've got are a lot older. But the look in that book is very, very similar to this. And I'll often I'll be sitting there of an evening, and I'll maybe grab a glass of whiskey or something. I'll just pull it out and go through it. And there's a timeless feel in the work in that book that I see in a lot of your work. So I'm really looking forward to the day when I can sort of grab a glass of Lafroig or whatever and just pick out my Lee Chapman book and have a pour through that. But amazing. Thanks so much for coming over today, Lee.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you very much for such kind words.
No.
From somebody like yourself, that means an awful lot.
We're doing the same sort of stuff. We're just two photographers, two guys with cameras trying to do the best we can. So people can find you at your main place to send people is wordpress.tokyotimes.org,
and then leechapman.photos, the portfolio.
That links over, doesn't it?
That links over, yes. And I've got an Instagram, which I don't quite remember the name, but that's different kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And Twitter.
Yeah.
That's it, basically.
I'll stick links to all of that in the blog post. This blog will be at mbp.ac/569. So if you haven't already gone over there, I'll probably there'll be links to this in the video anyway. But thanks very much for listening. I hope you've enjoyed my conversation with Lee, and I do encourage you to go over and check out the rest of his work and just follow what he's doing, because he's prolific. He posts stuff. I love looking at my RSS feeds, and it just all comes through there every few days. And so really, Lee, thanks a lot.
Thank you very much
for coming over.
Thanks so much for having me.
Not at all.